the Planet Hank live show, the absolute finest entertainment on the planet. We all know that. We already know that this show is the bomb. We're out here every single Thursday night, 8 p.m., the Patriot Hour. The most wonderful time to be on the interweb with the finest good boy, good boy, Hanky Poo. We all know I'm a good boy. We all know I'm a good boy. I'm out here tonight, and tonight's show is going to be amazing. I've got several of the finest topics that anybody has ever heard about, and we're going to be going ahead and kicking the show off in style. We have the best content in the state of Vermont. It's not even close. Your boy's out there all day, all night, recording the best videos, comedy videos. You can subscribe for $2. We're out here. Tonight's show, we're going to have topics covering Becca Balin's FTX money scandal and all of the super PACs with their dark and evil money and all of the scammy friends and cronies. We're going to talk about Cracker Barrel's new logo blunder. Blunder. We're going to talk about a little Scottish girl with a knife and an axe who got arrested. We're going to talk about a killing up in Burlington, a city which is in utter chaos right now. We're going to talk about screw worms. Disgusting. We're going to talk about the trans shooter. I know everybody's heard about that. It's the worst. We're going to talk about deporting Mr. Garcia again. We're going to talk about the Vermont tax and regulation burdens and some big problems that we see coming up. We're going to talk about the DNC failing and losing registered voters by the millions. And finally, we're going to talk about a very silly and nonsensical article from a website called The Grist and the VT Digger spiraling into hypocrisy and liberal meltdowns. And then we're going to see from my boy and co-host, Mr. Marcus. Now, we all know about this show, and let me go ahead and I'm going to share this into my story because I understand how to use social media, so I share it into my story. I would suggest that you guys do as well. Oh, here we go. We've already got people running their mouth. Todd reposted on X. If you don't realize, we are multi-streaming across several platforms, including YouTube, including X.com, Twitch, and obviously Facebook. Mr. Facebook! And I would appreciate it if you guys would share this up and maybe recommend watching this show to somebody or people who may enjoy themselves greatly, okay? Let me see who's in the live chats. Let me say what's up. Shout out to Blaine Peral. He says, what's up, buddy? Hulk Hogan. He says, can we talk about all the people crying about having to work at least 15 hours a week to keep their food sections in Section 8? Oh, yeah. That's a big one. And people have been having major meltdowns about that. And trust me, you're not alone if you don't feel bad for them. Okay. Edward Shinichi says, what up, Hank? Nico in the chat says, what's up? Todd over on X says, what's good, y'all? Peace. U.S. Dan Butler on there. Hey, what's up? He goes, that dumb, useless person. That's right. Rachel Morris over here on X. Like fine patriot. As we creep over 50 people very quickly, he goes, Hank, you're over there smelling like cheap Avon. I'm jealous. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay. He goes, Hank, the best reporter around. Lauren says you're late, bish. Oh, okay. So we're just using swear words this early. We're just using swear words. Now, before we get started with the finest entertainment on the interweb for all of you Vermont patriots, all of you all 50 state patriots who are pushing back against the liberal agenda and the globalist plot to destroy our country and to turn us all into slaves, I'm going to have to go like this. This show may be for all audiences because here's the thing. We may be enjoying ourselves, but some people absolutely do not want to be happy. They want to be miserable. They want to complain about everything. They're mad. They're mad about everything. Chelsea says, the man. That's right. Someone needs a dad. I'm Vermont's daddy, okay? I'm like the dad of Vermont. I'm speaking reason. I'm helping people figure out all their complex daddy issues, possibly. And so I'm going to put up this trigger warning because I'm telling you like this. If you want to be mad, this show's for you. If you want to be happy, this show's for you. And here it is. Trigger warning. This content may be considered graphic to some audiences. And we know who those are. For entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. And that's right. And so now we can go ahead and discuss some of the finest news ever. So we all know that my news is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Since Brattleboro, Vermont got their hands on a little hanky-poo, okay, basically we were able to make everything better here in Brattleboro. The Brattleboro police were able to upgrade their police force in a major way and get themselves a whole bunch of new cops that we desperately needed. We have a substation on the way, which we desperately needed. And I think that everybody can admit that this was a hell of a good idea. Can we go ahead and are we all in agreements with that? She says, eyes roll, hashtag Hank Daddy. That's right. I'm the grand old daddy of Vermont. Okay? And it's way past y'all's bedtime. Y'all, I better not hear a peep out of any of y'all. Y'all better have your room cleaned up, your towns cleaned up. You better go ahead. You better stop breaking the rules. Okay? Because when I get home from work, I'm going to whip every single one of y'all's butts if you continue to misbehave and disrespect this great state. Okay? We've had it. We've had it with y'all. He goes, we need more law enforcement. Yes, we do. Jessica Boucher. Yes. Katie Liz says, hashtag Hank. Let's go. Everybody put hashtag Team Hank. She goes, I was being playful. Don't be cranky. Oh, Lauren, we were just teasing you. Don't you worry. Okay? So, we all know how this goes. I make news here in Brattleboro. I film the chaos and the arrests. And occasionally we put a good story in there too. But usually it's doom and gloom and everything awful because under the grip of the evil, progressive, liberal overreach, destroying this state with their ridiculously flawed ideologies and their nonsense virtue signaling ideas, everything has been going awful for a long time. So I document it. And honestly, it's very easy. Usually all I have to do is point a camera in any direction at all. I just literally, all you really have, you just point it you press record, and it's going to capture a failed policy or something that a libtard has fucked up. Okay? And here's some more of that. This very fine news story is coming directly out of our very own town of Brattleboro, Vermont. Okay? But here's a caveat to that. This person has been reaping havoc all over this state. Several different newspaper articles about this person for a long time. We all know about it. We've all read about it, about a woman who passed out over the, who died, who was murdered or was killed or what have you. There's been tons of rumors about this, and I know that all of you are going to have a lot that you want to say about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to allow us to watch this video, and then we can all discuss it and make comments, and I'll answer all your little questions.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com, bringing you the latest from our community. Today's story unfolds at the North Bridge on Putney Road in North Brattleboro, where Brattleboro police executed a high-stakes felony stop on a vehicle. Officers armed with AR rifles and pistols swarmed a northbound SUV in a swift operation. Officer Cody Johnson of the Brattleboro Police Department identified the driver as Kresge Wilson and confirmed an active probation and parole warrant before making contact. Wilson was arrested without incident. Wilson is no stranger to law enforcement with a history, including a 2024 eluding an officer and negligent operation case where he faced 5 felony charges as a habitual offender due to prior felony convictions. In 2021, he was charged with fentanyl trafficking and convicted of 3 separate felonies, one in each Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont. This story is still developing, and updates will follow as new details emerge. I was able to get a comment from Lieutenant Warner of the Brattleboro Police Department.
Brattleboro probation and parole officers requested assistance taking one of their subjects into custody. Brattleboro police responded and helped them check the residence. They couldn't contact the subject there, but later located him on Putney Road and took him into custody without incident.
Just because you are arrested does not mean that you're guilty of a crime, and the investigation is ongoing. I'll keep you updated as this story develops. For the latest, follow me on social media and visit our website. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com.
So, obviously, that was a big story in our town and our state. And I could only really put so much out there for that one. It was a lot. There's a lot of speculation what's going on. Now, there was a murdered woman or a dead woman that was dropped off at the hospital in Bennington with head injury. Some people got online and started posting all about how this had something to do with him, and it was his girlfriend, or she was shot, or blah, blah, blah. Now, I can't confirm any of that. I cannot. He goes, so why was this guy still walking on the streets? Oh, maybe our justice system is screwed up. Now, that is exactly right. He goes, very treble, low on bass. Okay. That's because it sounds good. Put what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about this story? What have you heard? She goes, says news afternoon. We all know Hanky Daddy is in Wakey Wakey. Maureen says, sorry I'm late. Yeah, everybody's late. We got to get some peeps on here. Let me go ahead and do this here and see how this will go. Don't forget to subscribe for $2 to my members only content. Yes. Wono over on X goes, she wasn't shot. She had blunt force trauma and possibly was thrown from a moving vehicle. Okay, so that is, so several news sources and a Reddit page started talking about are creeping over 110 live viewers. It's a very important story that highlights some of the breakdowns that we have in state with our justice system. He is already on a case for eluding as a habitual felon who is facing 20 years to life. And now he's out on parole probation and had a violation and is now caught up into this very scenario. Now, his mother called me mad about the article, about the story I put out. She goes, no comment. Popcorn, yellow striped smile. His mother called me about all of this. And she had some things that she wanted to say. She had some things that she didn't like about the story. She said, blah, blah. She always is known in a lot of these cases to be sticking up for her son. She likes to say that everybody's racist and they're treating her son because of the way he is. Her injuries were so bad that initially it looked like a gunshot wound, and that's where the rumor is coming from. So, and that's very true. It's very true to get confirmation before you say stuff. This is one of the things that I do when I put out a news story, why I follow up with the Brattleboro police and go and get a statement from them. And in this situation, they didn't have a lot of information. And the officer literally told me probation and parole asked us to assist them in arresting this man, and we went from there and arrested him with no further incident. You know, and that is all I feel comfortable reporting on. I don't know what the heck else is happening. The more times that I put myself into a police situation, the more times I understand that there can be complications and stipulations that happen. Heather Sergeant Chase says, what did I miss? We're talking about the Kresge Wilson arrest the other day on Putney Road, where the officers did a felony stop and arrested a man for a violation of parole and probation. So then we are starting to discuss this woman who was deceased, who showed up at the Bennington Hospital, and she had blunt force trauma to the head. And via a conversation that I had, there might have been a scenario of how she jumped out of a moving vehicle and that. He goes, I'm here. Start the show. What's up, Hank? The tank. That's right. I'm here, and I am a tank. So the Brattleboro news is the greatest form of news, and we can all see from the tremendous work ethic that we have here, and basically we see that I was right behind those vehicles. As I got that call, you start to get very good at listening to the scanner. And as I started hearing what I was hearing come across the scanner, I was flat out running to the car. And as I jumped in the car, I pulled out and they went right by in front of me. And I knew right then, I pulled out right behind them. And I could tell what the other officers and the officers calling in, that they knew what was going on and that they needed to act quickly and with a lot of force because it could have gotten out of control. Now, a lot of people keyed in on that story and said, hey, why'd they have so many officers? Why did they use guns like that? Why? And it's like, I'll go like, I'm telling you, you'd rather show up with a little extra force. Nobody did anything. Nobody handled him roughly. Nothing happened. Thank God. But if he ran, if they drove away, if anything else happened, and you didn't have the appropriate amount of police officers to respond to it, that's really bad. Okay? And when they have a flag on their file that says, hey, look, this person, has been around some dangerous elements or whatever, there's a danger flag on his name, they show up like that. That's what happens when you're a habitual offender. I don't feel bad. I was proud of the police for pulling that off so quick. They had a matter of minutes to pull up like that. Did you see them coming out of everywhere? 5 cruisers converged on him in a matter of minutes and got him into custody. She said they have to walk in prepared for anything. That's right. She's going to say, I had no idea any of this was going on lately. Didn't even know about it until a friend of mine asked me what was going on. Why would you? They came out in full force on that dude. I guess it wasn't just a citation this time. And that's on the state of Vermont. They're giving out citations, and I've got this story where they took 50 bags of fentanyl off of somebody and he got a citation and walked away. He goes, yeah, you were close enough to start ducking bullets if they were flying. Great job, Hank. And I'll tell you like that, that's the truth. I was very close. Right behind him. And I wanted to run right up and get into the action, but when I look up in the video, you watch Sergeant Hamilton with an AR, and he gets in front of another officer, and they get behind the car, and they're like, oh, no. They weren't telling me no, but he told the other, and I just took that as my, I was like, okay, I need to get behind them. I'm not running out into, I know you guys want to see the content, and I know the news, and you got to get the shot, but it's like, I don't need to get shot to get the shot. Okay, so if the cops are ducking behind the car, I'm ducking behind the car. I'll have to film after for you guys. He goes, still probably a laughably low bail, though. I got to follow up on this and get all that. Jeff Bush in the house. Big shout out to Cherokee Diversified in the house. She goes, 50 bags of citation. Wow, times have definitely changed. Hank is used to a hail of bullets. So, the Brattleboro News recap show, the absolute finest entertainment around.
Planet Hank Live. the absolute finest entertainment on the internet. Join us in fighting back against evil.
It's hotter than a blacktop in July, sweating like a sinner in a church, and I just wanna get out with my crew tonight and shoot at the lights. Got a couple 40s full of hops and fun, looking for a good time, gotta live it up. Leave behind the city, hop inside my truck. No, we don't give up. We're gonna paint the night red, hoot and holler till we're dead. We're down to turn up, we're up to get down, saying hey y'all.
Oh, baby. This show's lit tonight. Let's get ourselves hyped up for the Planet Hank Live show. Now, I want to go ahead and talk to you about how to become involved. If you have a business, if you have an event, you have a message, you have an organization. My content is the most watched content in this area. If you actually are serious about getting an advertising avenue that's actually going to work for you and your business, you got to get on the Brattleboro News recap show, the Brattleboro News videos, the Planet Hank subscriber-only hub, planethank.com written articles, and have people actually see your business name, because while these other sources are busy being censored by liberal crybabies, lying to you and having a false narrative, you don't want your name attached to that. We peddle the truth here, and my sponsors are the proudest, finest people in the state of Vermont, true patriots like King's Electric. The very best electricians. They get the job done. They do the right thing in your town. You can trust them in your house. Very skilled, very professional. Give them a call today for all your electrical contracting needs. My man, Mike Borio over at Kresge's Alignment off Canal Street. Got anything you need done on your car, you need anything, any work done in any form for an automobile, hit them up. Get your cars tuned up. You're driving jalopies out here. Y'all's cars won't pass inspections. You won't do nothing. And we got Raj up in Putney off exit 4, Raj Towing and Repair. They're doing oil undercoating. They got a gas station there, 24/7 gas and towing. If you need a tow, they're everywhere. They pick up the police cars. Anytime the police need a vehicle towed, they grab it. And my man, MOB, Mike O'Brien, Pilot Car LLC. He's out there, the little cars with the lights and flags on them that make it safe for people to tow big old loads around the roads. Huge shout out to Real Progress, Vermont's favorite political PAC. Things are starting to heat up for us. If you're interested in making a contribution to Real Progress, that's available through realprogress.net. It can really help us out. Anything counts. And I'll tell you like this, we are the ones trying to change this state, your town, and make it better and make it safer for you and document the chaos and the nonsense. And with that, why don't we go ahead and get into our first story of the day in our portion of the show I like to call Topics. And of course, we're talking about Vermont's own Becca Balin. She's out of her goddamn mind, okay? She's out here complaining every single day on her social media, every day, about Trump, about everything, about everybody else is corrupt, everything she does is wonderful. So I'll read the caption. Becca Balin took $1.1 million from LGBT Victory Fund. She was bankrolled by FTX, Nishad Singh, and Sam Bankman-Fried. Okay? And they are complete corrupt people. Everything about this is insane. Becca Balin's crypto cash bonanza. Vermont's own rep, Becca Balin, got a $1.1 million ad blitz from the LGBTQ Victory Fund in her 2022 congressional primary. Okay? What? And it goes way further than that. It's like, she's out here like with Bernie and they all act like it's this evil thing and everybody else is doing it and they're not doing it. It's bullshit. She took tons of money. She's completely bought and paid for by their BS. It was bankrolled by FTX executives Nishad Singh and Sam Bankman-Fried, cronies. SBF himself dropped $2,900 max legal donation on Balin's campaign, plus another $9,700 to the Vermont Democratic Party. His brother Gabe tossed in 10 grand more to the party. That's a lot of crypto. Sam Bankman-Fried is a crypto con man. This guy's a scumbag. He disgraced FTX. He's the disgraced FTX crypto king. He stole $8 billion in customer funds. People were just buying crypto, and as the money went in, he was just taking it and giving it out and giving it to politicians and buying a bunch of crazy shit and giving it to his friends and his cronies. $8 billion in other people's money. Just taking people. Imagine buying crypto and this guy just taking the money, lying to you, taking it and giving it out to freaking radical leftist whack jobs like Becca Balin. He was convicted on 7 counts of fraud and money laundering in 2023, sentenced to 25 years in the slammer in 2024. He funneled stolen FTX money through straw donors like Singh to dodge campaign finance limits, buying influence with polls like Becca Balin to push crypto-friendly laws. Balin's "I didn't know" defense. She goes out there and says, I didn't know. She gave 26 grand back, so she knew enough. The fact she gave $26,000 back shows you she knows. So when she's out there virtue signaling, saying and bitching and moaning about oligarchy and Bernie Sanders' freaking talking points, just remember, they stole everybody's money and gave it to her and several other people for her to have that seat. They are corrupt as you can get. Balin swears she never met Sam Bankman-Fried or Singh and had no clue about their shady cash and couldn't control the Victory Fund spending. She couldn't control it. She was going to be the very first LGBT rep. So they dumped the stolen money on her through the Victory Fund. She goes, it's illegal to coordinate with super PACs. It sounds like it's not my fault. She's full of it. Okay, the lady is garbage. She's out here virtue signaling and running her mouth about Trump every single day on her social media. It's nauseating. She lives here in Brattleboro. Her campaign says they're fully cooperating with the feds, but they're still sitting on some of that money in a sequestered account, waiting for DOJ orders. Why not just ditch it? You know? Why us? Why Vermont? SBF's team picked Balin over rival Molly Gray because she played ball on pandemic prevention policies, code for crypto agendas. Gray wouldn't bite, so Balin got the cash. SBF's crew, Sam Bankman-Fried's crew, saw Balin as a future senator to cozy up to. Bet they thought Vermont's flannel and maple vibe was an easy mark for their crypto con. Dude, they played her so bad. Money moves, shady excuses. Balin donated her $2,900 SBF check to a charity after the FTX crashed. But the $1.1 million Victory Fund, still a mystery if it's been returned. She's full of it. FTX debtors sent Bayla's campaign a letter in February 23 demanding a refund. The amount unknown, but her team called it hastily done and not legit. They want to keep that money so bad. You see her out there. She's their little puppet. There, she has her dressed up in those ridiculously embarrassing clothes. She wears like little vests with like a bright orange, like weird silk shirt under it, and like dances around for all of them. She's out of her mind, and she's having liberal meltdown after liberal meltdown, funded by stolen crypto money. Like, imagine being that entitled, that you just steal everybody's money and jam it through a bunch of straw companies and super PACs, and you keep it and still have the balls to go out there and complain about everybody else and Trump and everybody else, blah, blah, blah. I'm just a wholesome Vermonter while swimming in stolen money. You're out of your mind, Becca. Give the money back. Give the money back. Give the money back. Butt white Becca, give everybody their money back. You know what I mean? And here's a little, moving on to the next story. Here's a little, this one has me dead, so I got a video here. Watch this video.
Have to say,
there she is, Becca Balin.
Gives a shit about the Cracker Barrel logo. We are all being manipulated by people who are driving rage about asinine, stupid things. And it takes up so much time and so much energy and so many damn column inches in newspapers and on social media. This is stupid, and we continue to fall for it. Let's keep the main thing, which is that this administration is trying to seize power and keep us silent. Do not continue to fall for these made up problems that don't actually impact anyone. It's a damn brand, okay? It doesn't impact our safety, our security, our ability to provide for our children. Don't take the bait.
Becca's out here fucking losing her shit over goddamn, losing it over Cracker Barrel. Don't take the bait. It's a brand. Like, okay. But the point is, nobody likes woke DEI hire BS. Not at Bud Light, not at Cracker Barrel, blah, blah, blah. Their stock crashed. Cracker Barrel ditched their iconic Uncle Herschel logo, the old guy chilling next to the barrel on the thing, for the bland text-only design, and it's terrible. Like, it kind of makes the food, like, just, like, think about that, like, just yellow block with a name. It's like, like, I'm, You know what I mean? The stock tanked, losing 94 to 143 million in a single day. It goes without saying, go woke, go broke. And of course Becca doesn't want to talk about that. Do you see her try to turn it into TDS? She's bitching about Trump. Trump is trying to do, and it's like, do what? What? What is he doing? Fighting crime in DC? They're out here like protesting on behalf of criminals. Like the DNC is failing. Anybody who's supporting this stupid, ridiculous shit, they have no way to defend themselves. They don't even know what they're talking about. Trump is so good at teasing them, and that they just have to oppose everything he says and does, that he gets them supporting and saying the dumbest shit you could come up with. Oh, give us our criminals in D.C. back. How dare you stop crime? Like, what? And now they got him out here trying to defend the crack. Who cares? You should care that an American business took your DEI hire policies and your woke bullshit, and it tanked our stock market in a public company. It made them lose possibly $143 million in a day. That is something that you, as a rep to the United States of America, should care about. Nope. Nope. The woke stuff, they're Trumpers. Like, you have, what are you even going to say? The new logo is so boring, it looks like it was designed by a hipster intern on a kombucha bender. Goodbye, Southern Charm. Hello, Corporate Snooze Fest. So, MAGA meltdown and liberal giggles. Trump's base went feral. So the MAGAs, we went crazy, and they started calling it Woke Barrel. Rather than Cracker Barrel, Woke Barrel. And can you just imagine, like, the type of people, like when you're going to frickin' Cracker Barrel, I'm not going in there for any of your woke BS. We're not going in there. Nope. They started comparing it to Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney disaster. That tanked that fucking brand, Bud Light too. I wonder if they're back. What the fuck is wrong with Cracker Barrel? Like father, like son, big mad. Liberals on X cackled with the Democrats account whining about the rebrand, blaming Trump for letting it happen. Blame Orange Man for logo change. He goes, Trump plays the leftist like the drums. Yes, exactly. So her name is CEO Julie Massinos is clueless. Julie Fels Massino, earning $1 million a year, thought this modern look would pull in Gen Z. Instead, she alienated every grandma who loves their biscuits and gravy. Tanked it. My question is, Scott, like I said, Massino went on Good Morning America and said, feedback's been overwhelmingly positive. Lady, your stock tanked 10%. That's not an applause. Tanked 10% in a day. Other companies in the woke dumpster fire, Bud Light, cost Anheuser-Busch $1 billion in sales. Cracker Barrel said, hold my sweet tea. Okay? And we're next. Jaguar went woke, selling only 49 cars in Europe by April 2025. The CEO quit faster than you could say electric SUV. Target's 2023 Pride merch for kids, rainbow dog toys, got them a boycott and a stock dip. Stop doing the pandering to the blue-haired, freaking wokey, cancel college. Just don't. We don't care. Real Americans hate those people. They try to cancel everything, and all we do is we just don't go. We don't even care. We ain't buying it. Vermont doesn't want it. We don't have Cracker Barrels here. We don't give a F. Okay? Keep rocking chairs, deer heads. This is not minimalist. This is garbage. And of course, Becca jumped on because she's garbage. Oh, yes, this story here. Moving on. This story here. Okay, before I do this story, I want to show you guys something, and it just fell off my wall. But if you're interested in displaying one of these beautiful Planet Hank yard signs, they're two-sided. They are available now. You can get them. You can send me a message or say it in the chat right now. I charge $25 for these because they're so nice. They come with a picket. But I tell you what, these are great for your window, your yard. Get hundreds of them. Put them everywhere. Trust me when I tell you, this is sure to get a reaction. Look at these. They came out great. I can't wait to put these all over this town. Get your Planet Hank yard sign today. Let's see what we got. Let's see if I can get that to stay up again. Nope. We're going to get some more merch. I got more stickers on the way. She goes, Cracker Barrel seems like a weirdly niche place. The whole draw seems to be the cute old-timey theme they never change. Yeah, exactly. When you just want to take your family out to get real American food. We don't want sushi and weird, like, no, they just want to go in there and get their fucking pork chops and mashed potatoes and shit. Lost their goddamn minds. Okay, so this story's coming out of Scotland. Watch this video.
Get bastards!
Show the knife! Show the knife! Show the
away from us!
Show the knife! Show the knife!
Don't touch her!
That's it! That's it! Show the knife! That's it!
Don't touch my little sister! She has 12!
But rest assured,
Hilarious. So it says in Scotland, Dundee streets just got wild. A young girl's waving a knife and axe like she's ready for battle. Scotland's kids arm up like vigilantes and Wyndham's worst nightmares. The girl's viral video blowing up on X with her screaming and swinging while lies about migrant attacks spread like wildfire. Why social media is turning a kid's meltdown into a global mess. Right-wingers are screaming hero over defending her sister, but the cops say no assault happened. How's this kid's fight getting hijacked into a culture war? So, folks are cheering a girl taking the law into her own hands. So basically, out in the UK, they got all these migrants taking over. Like, we've all seen it. They have all these migrants and whatever, Muslims, wherever, coming from all these different cultures. And they're messing with these girls, 12-year-old girls, 13 and 12. And she wasn't having it. And the guy was scaring her and filming her, and she pulled out a knife and a hatchet. And then, sure enough, he starts playing all this. She goes, don't give him ridiculous ideas. Brattleboro has enough issues. Paula Colburn says, love the sign. Well, Paula, you can get yourself a Planet Hank yard sign all you want. They're spinning it as girl power or migrant mayhem. Failing systems that leave kids desperate and communities ignore. It's time to dish the chaos and demand real safety. For real. Like, dude, absolutely, we need to have real safety, real public safety in our communities. This is what Trump's in D.C. about. Like, clearly they have an issue. There's been all kinds of rapes and kidnappings and victims and people effing around out in the UK, and these girls are scared. And they're like, why is there a grown man even approaching 12-year-old girls like that? It's ridiculous. When I'm out in public and shit, I don't even talk to 12, 13-year-old girls. Like, where are your parents? You know what I mean? Like, where the hell are your parents? Leave them be, okay? There's no reason that you should be screaming at some kids where she feels like she needs a knife and a hatchet to defend herself against whatever the F you think you got going on, because nothing you're doing warrants that. Ridiculous. Okay, this next story is pretty disgusting, I have to admit it. Let's see. Do I have my picture? Where's my picture? Okay, where's the picture? Nope, I don't have my picture. Let me grab my picture right quick. Okay. Come on, upload. Oh, I see what the problem is. Boom. Okay, here it is. Okay, so there is a pretty disgusting thing popping up. This is absolutely disgusting. Here we go. Screw worms. The first U.S. human case in ages. Okay, look at these screw worms. Maryland guy back from El Salvador gets hit with a new world screw worm in August 2025. First human case in the U.S. in decades. Dude probably thought he was just itchy from a bad taco, but nope, maggots chowing down on his flesh. What the hell is that thing? That is disgusting. New world screwworm. Freaky fly that lays eggs in open wounds or body holes. Yep, any hole. Eggs hatch into maggots that munch on living skin. Oh my god. Not dead skin like your average gross bug. These are savage. Call it my ass is, it sounds like a metal band, but it's just a larva turning you into buffet, spreading like bad news. This pest was chilling in South America. Now it's road tripping north through Central America and Mexico. It's 2022. Coming for the U.S. like an uninvited guest at a barbecue. Cattle industry is going to be decimated from those things. Screw worms love cows more than a Vermont farmer. Okay? Major threat to U.S. livestock. What do you do if you are screwed? What do you do if you got a screw worm? Okay? Probably off yourself, honestly. The CDC says maggots in a wound, run, don't walk to a doctor. No pouring whiskey on it. Okay? For all you nasty. Imagine, okay, like I'm just saying, we got all these people down on Flat Street with open wounds. We're about to have all these people on Flat Street with open wounds with fucking screw worms in it. Are you kidding me? Look at those things. Imagine having about 1,000 of those popping out of someone's wounded flesh on their face. Disgusting. If you're scratching a wound and it smells like death, don't blame your ex. Check for maggots. Oh my God. So this next story, the next story comes from, oh yeah, we got to talk about this trans shooter. Look at this trans shooter. Are you fucking kidding me? So we're not going to do too much on this because it's all over the news. Everybody saw this. This is disgusting. This trans guy, Robert, went in and shot 2 young kids dead, injured 17 during morning mass. It's another side of targeted attacks on faith and family. It says 23-year-old, and they're trying to push this narrative of Robin. No, this is Robert. Okay, I'm done with that. What drove this identity shift? Links to mental health crisis and cultural influences. Straight up. They're trying to push it like and take away that they don't know what the narrative was that pushed him. Dude, he wrote "Kill Donald Trump" and all this other sick, lefty, crazy bullshit all over his fucking assault rifle and went and shot a bunch of fucking churchgoers and kids up. You kidding me? And then the left has the audacity to go out here and talk about gun control. Like, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Self-inflicted wound ends it. Too bad he didn't do that before he went out in the morning. He wrote this big, long manifesto apologizing to his family and his brother and sister and put a little advice down on the bottom of it. I don't know if you guys have read it. It's available. Down on the bottom, oh, T, you need to forgive Mom. Life was too short. And like all this crap. Like talking down to everybody like as if they need advice from some crazed dude who's going to go and shoot up a church and then kill himself. Kids aged 6 to 15 hit the hardest, 14 injured, 2 killed at 8 and 10 years old. Plus 3 elderly adults in their 80s. FBI investigation probing as potential domestic terror. How is it potential? What the hell else would it be? Dude, there's been several killings from these people, trans people losing their minds, out of their minds. She said, I could care less about the logo. I'm going to miss that warm and fuzzy having brunch at the old plantation feeling. No more Southern nostalgia. No more Aunt Jemima. Yeah, gun control is not the problem. Mental health is the problem. And then you got them all out there protesting about Trump, and it's all Trump's fault. Trump came out and signed EO, talking about how he wants to open up the mental institutions and get these people locked up, off the streets, medicated, whatever needed to happen. This person right here, Robert, needed to be one of them. Manifesto and disturbing YouTube videos under review. What's in them? Anti-Christian rants or deeper agendas. Police Chief Brian O'Hara calls it incomprehensible. Mayor Jacob Frey urges focus on victims, avoids politicizing the shooter's background. See, this is just lefty bullshit. And you got tampon Tim Walz out there coddling the bullshit and trying to cover up the fact that they push this shit on all of us, on this whole country, on our kids, and brainwash everybody. Even this shooter said that he brainwashed himself to believe all that crap and wish he didn't transition. We cannot affirm mental illness and allow them to go out and shoot people. It's ridiculous. Shooting August 27th, same day as breaking news. Rising anti-Catholic sentiment in America ties to leftist ideologies or government psyops. Gun control, weapons bought legally. Does this push for restrictions? Improved armed citizens could have stopped it. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Vermont tie-in. Here in Vermont, we're no strangers to rural values and faith communities. And we have guns out the wazoo in Vermont. People have constitutional carry. You can have whatever you want. You don't need a permit. You can bring anything. If you have 30-round mags, they can be grandfathered in. There's no limit, okay? And the other thing that we have a ton of here is mental illness, trans, all kinds of mental illness. Now, some people, their next angle is going to be, oh, this is anti-trans or whatever. Listen, nobody has to agree with your views on trans. It's not a requirement of the world to just agree with everything everybody says. They don't. People don't have to agree with that, especially in children and in schools and everything. Like, do what you want. Nobody has to, like, that goes both sides. People don't have to make this acceptable. All kinds of mental illnesses. It's crazy that this one radical leftist group refuses to acknowledge that there's mental illness involved when it comes to people who are going through problems like that. But the first thing that they want to do when it's mental illness of any other kind is label it as mental illness, have them go to social workers, set up all these therapists and all these networks to get paid off of mental illness and a mental health crisis. They're all on board with a mental health crisis. Then you say this person was mentally ill and they lose their goddamn minds. It's ridiculous. It's hypocrisy. And people are dead because we're refusing to call it like it is because you're scared of getting canceled. And I'm pissed off about it. Next topic. I'm not putting that person on my show anymore. They're a fucking scumbag. Let's do the weather. Planet Hank weather, the Brattleboro News weather report. Thursday, partly sunny, 74 out. Friday, it's going to rain tomorrow, 71. Look at that sun. Saturday and Sunday, 70, 74. Monday and Tuesday, partly cloudy, in the 70s. Wednesday, sunny, high 70s. Man, we got to squeak out as much summer as we can get. Planet Hank live show, the absolute finest entertainment ever. We all know that. Everybody knows that. Randy Fellion in the house. Yo, yo. He says, remember in the 80s when the church people were blowing up abortion clinics? It's wild how times have changed. I know. And now the leftists are shooting up churches. What in the fuck is going on? Everybody needs to leave it alone. He goes, they don't have to mention they're leftist. They can just mention a manifesto and everybody knows. Exactly. He goes, lack of testosterone is at the root of the problem. Gun control is not the problem. Mental health is the problem. 100%. 100%. Going kayaking, you should come. Yo, last time I went kayaking, y'all almost killed me. Okay? Plants are budding. Yeah, we know. Okay, so moving on. Here we go. This next story. Oh, my God. Like as if we didn't see this one coming. Okay? Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been picked up again, and ICE is holding him, and he's going to be deported to Uganda, and they're crying injustice while ignoring his human smuggling rap sheet. Wyndham's law-abiding folks are sick of this bleeding heart chaos. Garcia is facing a one-way ticket to Uganda after dodging a cushy Costa Rica deal. Libs like Chris Von Holland, remember that guy went down there? Oh, let me go hang out in the jail with this guy. Ridiculous. Are whining. Why is it our job to babysit a guy tied to MS-13? I thought it was awfully arrogant of them to just automatically jump in saying, oh, this guy's not MS-13, blah, blah. How do you know? Okay, how do you know what he's tied to, what he's done? He's been arrested for it. It's obviously a super polarizing issue, but they're literally just bitching and moaning and doing everything. He goes, how the fuck is this dude still in this country? Yeah. So Biden's old crew and their open border dreams let Garcia strip through. Now the Dems scream when Trump's team enforces the law. Courts are stalling the deportation with endless hearings egged on by Dem hysterics. Oh, we want a due process and everything. It's ridiculous. He goes, they served him margaritas. Yeah, like, dude, get the fuck out of here. As your Republican fighter, I'll demand swift deportations. And here's the real question. What the fuck are you going to do about it now, bro? Honestly, what the fuck are you going to do now, Mr. Garcia? Okay, enough of the Dems meltdown and all this BS. Let the damn immigration enforcement handle what it is. Nobody wants to hear from leftists. We voted against you across the board. You're not successful. You're not doing good work. You're liars. We don't want to hear from you. Next story. Oh my God. Okay, so now we're going to get into, let's get into this. So Vermont's tax burden is crushing. We are the third highest in the U.S. thanks to progressive policies hitting job creators, families hard. Proposal like wealth taxes on income over $500,000 and unrealized gains over $10 million are making life unaffordable. It makes people who actually have potential and money, they're not coming here. They're leaving. They're not investing. Americans for Prosperity is calling out lawmakers for bloated budgets and tax hikes that ignore the little guy. Regulatory mess. Act 18's Clean Heat Standard, Act 250, a land use law restricting development, jack up energy and housing costs. These policies are bleeding jobs and wages, pushing folks to leave. Look at Virginia's growth with lower taxes and less regulation. Our solution is to slash tax increases, protect families and businesses, and extend the TCJA benefits like no taxes on tips. And TCJA is the 2017 Tax Cut Jobs Act. Oppose new burdens like second home taxes or corporate hikes. Vermont's recent corporate tax tweak is a start, but we need to do more. Deregulate to unleash prosperity. Let's make Vermont a beacon of freedom and opportunity. Vermont was always supposed to be about freedom. This was not supposed to be little California. They're out of their minds. The state is full of old people. There's a housing crisis. There's no jobs here. No company would dare come into one of the highest regulated states ever with all of these libtards crying about climate change initiatives. They're obsessed with trying to be the leader of the world and start these experimental programs to put unreasonable regulations on doing business and meet our climate goals. Whose climate goals? People in Vermont just want affordable living and an opportunity to get ahead. Nobody here has climate goals. You're full of shit, okay? There was an article out about there's an article about how and it's on FYI Vermont, and it's about how, like, we have zero impact on climate change from Vermont. Yet we are, like, obsessed with making these first in the country initiatives and these weird policies that we can't even, that drive the cost of living, cost of fuel, like the clean heat standard, all of this. Like, it didn't even get passed because of it. It's ridiculous. Dude, if China's not going to regulate, if other huge states are not going to regulate, Vermont sure as F doesn't need to drop off a bunch of super increased costs to people already struggling when it has zero impact. They are out of their minds. It's because they're invested in solar, or they're invested and have cronies in wind power, or they have a degree at UVM in the science department, man. And so they just can't help themselves. So then they go up and act like activists and say the dumbest possible shit and come up with ridiculous solutions. It costs us all a fucking fortune. How much did they jacked our fuel up? Like, the fuel went from like $2 and something to $5 and something since 2022 with their climate change bullshit. We spend like $350 million a year on climate initiatives in Vermont when we're broke. Our whole budget is $9 billion a year, and these people are out here spending $350 million on climate change initiatives. What the fuck does that even mean? Y'all are out of your minds. You're wasting money and then complaining that we're broke for all the shit that we actually need to be spending the money on. And then they have the balls to go after Americans for Prosperity and blame them for being climate deniers. They're out of their minds. What they are is wasting your money and making it impossible to live here, expanding the housing crisis, expanding the cost of living crisis, and driving taxes through the roof to fund their crazy little nonprofits. And because of that, we're getting to our next story right here. The DNC is absolutely failing and falling apart. So they have lost more than 2 million voters in the last 4 years. The Democratic Party's voter registration crisis. The Democratic Party is grappling with a major drop in voter registrations, losing millions to Republicans or independents since 2020. Reports highlight a widespread shift away from the party, impacting its standing in key states and raising alarms for its future. This segment, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they're like lost. We don't know why. It's because all you have is saying everything's racist, everybody's a bigot, everybody's a homophobe or a transphobe, cancel culture, DEI, woke bullshit, and everybody hates it. Your policies have failed. Companies go out of business. Towns are not safe. There's a drug crisis in our streets. Needles are everywhere. You got the freaking AIDS project in Brattleboro. Stop doing the needle exchange. Okay? Now you just go and get huge packs of 100 needles. They used to require you to bring the needles back and you give the dirty needle and get the new needle, so that the dirty needle's off the street and you have the new needle, and you're not going to be spreading HIV or AIDS or any other bloodborne diseases. Now they just have, everybody has hundreds of needles, so they shoot up and just throw them on the ground, literally spreading AIDS everywhere in your communities, on your playgrounds. Little kids are picking the needles up like the people from Twice Upon a Time said at the Real Progress event. She's out there saying that they had a little tiny 2-year-old girl, and they look over and she picked up a dirty needle that was out on the sidewalk and was waving the thing around. It's disgusting. At one of my Real Progress events, I showed a fentanyl bag that had Clifford the Big Red Dog on it. Democrats lost ground to Republicans in voter registration across all 30 states that track party affiliation, with a total swing of up to 4.5 million voters between 2020 and 2044. I'm telling you like this, when they lose the next elections in the primaries, the DNC is abolished. People are sick of their shit. They are liars. Every single blue city with their sanctuary city laws, they go against your best interests every time, and they are done. Trevor says, laughing my ass off. Right, I'm going to boot up and be responsible. Exactly. Like, that whole concept is complete nonsense. The AIDS project, oh, let me shoot up and be responsible. Jeremy Seed says, Congressman Hank. Oh, yeah, here's a story. Sherry and her son were at Hannaford's walking in to the store when Jacob Mattis slammed his car into the Hannaford's right by the cart exchange by the front doors, almost hit her son, almost hit her, and was arrested, completely intoxicated and everything. And what I say from that, it's just a ridiculous story. Like, are you hearing that? You're walking into the grocery store with your kid and somebody just drives straight into the wall. It's the second time somebody who's intoxicated hit a building in the last week or so. Almost killed her and her son. She was pissed. Whole place pissed. The guy tried to drive away. They had to chase him down. I got the video. I'm waiting to hear all the details from the police at the press conference. And I'll release this story. Because this is what it comes down to. Every single time that somebody would probably have been a blue voter, this shit happens to them, and the liberal policies break down, and their family almost gets killed, or something bad happens, their house is broken into, their property is destroyed, they're assaulted, they almost run over. We had that little old lady up in Putney in front of the co-op get run over by a Jeep full of junkies. And she died. Right in front of everybody. He's out having a good day out at the co-op. Everybody's out walking in the town. And these junkies come up, nodding out, fall asleep, and run a lady over and kill her. We got Kresge Wilson, this refuted habitual offender, drug dealer, convicted of crack, fentanyl, guns, all of that. And there's a dead girl attached to it. Every time this stuff comes up and people get released, the justice system fails. They say defund the police. They say, oh, send them to deferment, send them to some sort of treatment. Don't worry, guys. Groundworks is going to solve all of our problems. Then they get chopped up with axes, and all of those people get sick of the DNC, and they switch teams, and it's happening all across the country. Look at these states. These are huge blue states. New Mexico, Nevada, Illinois, Michigan. New York is in black right here, and that's why it's blacked out. One of the biggest states, Georgia. Are you kidding me? They're losing registered DNC voters. Crazy. Some states like Florida and New Hampshire saw Democrats lose their registration advantage entirely. Like, it's becoming impossible to support their bullshit anymore. Everybody's sick of it. Says, glad someone is handling globalism. Great job. Are you hiring? We're always looking for help at the Brattleboro News, at Planet Hank. We're tied in with a bunch of patriots and a bunch of organizations that are actually trying to make a difference in this state and all over the country, because someone's got to do it. Just like you're saying, great, someone is handling globalism. Someone's got to do it. Dude, that's actually one thing that makes it even more insane. 10 a.m. Exactly. She said they lost my vote. Exactly. So for people who didn't know, this woman right here probably would have voted blue, mad about Trump or whatever, voted blue her whole life. Her whole family is blue, 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 blue. She called and screamed at her parents. She's mad about it. Ridiculous. He said the midterms are going to be wild. It's going to go crazy. I'm telling you like this, if the DNC loses the midterms in a big way like they did in 2024, here in Vermont, we made the most ground for red seats ever in the history, and now we are very, very close. We get 4 more seats, we have the Republican majority in the Senate. So we need to keep going and get them out of there. They lose one more time big, and we get another president, and they're done. That DNC is abolished. Working class voters, including the blue-collar Latinos and black men, are shifting away, with many feeling the party no longer speaks to their needs. They do this like anti-man, feminist, man-hating bullshit, and like saying toxic masculinity and blah, 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 and all these laws, child support, divorce laws, alimony, all of this, cancel culture, all of it, calling us racist, calling us all these nasty names. Men across the board are sick of that shit. And they don't always be as vocal as I am, making fun of it or trolling it or saying stuff. A lot of guys just quietly are like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing this shit. The party is seen by some as elitist, focusing on progressive ideals over practical concerns like jobs and economic stability. And that is what's happening in Vermont. They want to whine about climate change when our little tiny dinky state has no impact on the climate at all. It's like a dog and pony show. They want to spend all your money and make it super expensive to live here so that they can basically go to little wine mixers up in Burlington and talk about how they're helping, and then call out to other places where their cronies in California are and talk about all they're doing for climate change. They're doing nothing. It changes nothing. All it does is drives your fuel costs up, drive businesses out of the state, and when that happens, all the young people who are smart leave the state, along with all of our potential, our opportunities, everything. It's chaos here. It's fentanyl and crack and people's kids almost getting run over. All the jobs are gone. Everything sucks here. We got to get Wendy Harrison out of office. Everybody hates this shit. She's out here voting for more hotel voucher program money and freaking having the clean heat standard drive your fuels up and putting Act 250 in place. It's BS, and we need to call it out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm bringing it even for more, okay? And the other one is the No Kings people. Like, they all see that, and everybody hates that shit. These protesters out here are complete garbage. Okay. Now, I'm going to say it like this. I'm kicking this off with a maple leaf size middle finger to the grist and the VT digger. You're out of your mind, okay? They posted this article on the Digger, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to share the screen with y'all so you get to see this. Stop screen. I'm going to share this screen. So they posted this article, and I'll tell you what, I'm not happy about it. Okay? It says how a Koch-funded campaign is trying to reverse climate action in Vermont. Americans for Prosperity claims its mission is to make Vermont more affordable. But it's founding and financing by some of the world's richest oil men. Oh, no! And a history of spreading climate disinformation has raised doubts. And here's Americans for Prosperity's latest event. There they are all sitting at the Rutland Country Club on August 12th. And that's Rep. Chris Kaiser, R. Rutland, speaks. And so this story's up on the Grist. And man, this is the absolute paramount of liberal hypocrisy. When you read this article, you go in and you realize that they complain about right Republican people putting money into the state for politics. They admit they spent more money from their super PACs from out of the state, from the freaking LGBTs, all of this. And they're whining and trying to call out Koch-funded American prosperity for saving Vermont from climate lunacy. These eco-libtards are losing their mind because AFP's out here dropping truth bombs, and we're going to roast their lies harder than a Burlington barista burns your oat milk latte. Coke cash, more like Liberty loot. Literally, Liberty loot. They are bringing money to Vermont to fix this shit we're talking about. They are giving our politicians money and helping to influence our state in the correct direction so that the freaking Wendy Harrison hotels and the freaking needles in the park from the AIDS Project and the freaking clean heat standard from all of the libtards is completely eradicated. You want to have your cost of living skyrocket and your safety and your kids getting run over and all of that, then you got to stop listening to crazy leftists trying to cancel everybody and whine about this. Wow, they're doing it way worse. We just talked about Becca and her FTX scandal bullshit. They stole $8 billion from people trying to invest money into crypto and handed it out to freaking radical left progressives. Spare us. Americans for Prosperity dropped $63,000 on ads and mailers to wake Vermonters up. And then, yeah, we'll admit it, the super PAC spend big bucks to drown out your globalist propaganda. Of course, your green overlords funneled billions into climate scams that jack up our bills. Kochs build jobs. Your NGOs build bigger government. And that's really it. We don't want huge government that blows things up like's happening in Burlington. It's retarded. Who's the real villain? And I'm here to tell you the progressives are the ones destroying the state, and all the problems point to them, and we need to switch this up. Act 18 is a green grift that flopped. It's awful. Clean heat standard, total fraud. All it does is adds almost 60 cents per gallon onto the cost of your oil. We're not having any effect on the climate. This is not because, oh, Charles Koch needs to have our climate money. That's a nonsense. They're just trying to turn it into some way to criticize it. Even your own Public Utility Commission says it's too pricey without other states holding your hand. It never got off the ground, and AFP is pushing to bury it for good. Why? It'd make your heating home cost more than a Stowe ski chalet. Grist calls this reverse climate action, and it's cringe. What it is cringe. They go in that article, they said Charles Koch's dad had contracts in the 1930s with Adolf Hitler and Stalin. What is with the left calling everybody that opposes them Nazis? Oh, they must be Nazis. They're out of their minds. And I made a little picture to celebrate it. So there's the LGBT Freedom Fund, the VT Digger, and the Dems. And here comes AFP. Bow! Out of our way. AFP is here to help us get our state on the right track. These people are stealing money from crypto scams and dumping millions and millions of dollars of globalist elite funds through super PACs and bullshit shell companies into this state that have been doing it the whole time. And they are out here trying to pretend like somehow we are the bad ones. Because they spent $68,000 on mailers to talk about how they don't want your heating to go up. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. And I'm tired of their mentality of trying to cancel everybody. This is the reality of them. We have to stop buying into the complete nonsense ideology of liberal activists who will scream and lie and attack and shoot up churches and crash your economy and chase jobs out and stuff illegals into your jobs and your housing and put heroin all over the street, leave the border open, cry about the BBB, the big beautiful bill, one big beautiful bill, and they're mad about the spending of how much it cost us to shut the border down and build a wall. That's their fault. We wouldn't have a problem with spending on ICE and spending on everything if it wasn't for these people causing a freaking invasion of this country. We don't even know how many people. 15 million, 20 people. People are saying there's 60 million illegals. Okay? We have so many illegals here. And they're protesting getting them out. They are lying. They are in cahoots with Chinese influence. We have to change this in Vermont, or we are never going to get out from under it. We have the best shot now that we ever had. And with that, I want to invite every single one of you to my event on September 17th at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Bar 580. We have the band Intercept playing, Floyd Lawrence, Intercept. They rock out. They're going to play the national anthem. They're out here wearing American flags. They got those pointy guitars and can shred. They're the best band around, and everybody's going to have a great time. We want to pack the house with patriots. It's Constitution Day, September 17th, and we are going to rock out. There's going to be speakers. There's going to be Vermont representatives there. There's going to be candidates there. We're going to have Americans for Prosperity there. You guys can meet them and realize who has your best interests in mind. And I'll tell you like this, it's not the incumbent Wendy Harrison and Nadir Hashim who are over here voting to increase the hotel voucher program and the homelessness spending to $161 million a year. Dude, we are the highest homeless increased state. We're number 2 for cocaine usage rate. We can't take it anymore. More of their shit, more of their bad policies and garbage will destroy us. So come on, show up to the event, and we're gonna be putting stuff out. He goes, I like Fort Dummer. She says, yes, 580 Canal Street, Hanky Daddy. She says, I can't wait. Hank does stand up again. I'll be on the microphone. Jeremy Keys, you're welcome. All you got to do is drive up 91 North and get into Vermont and stop at exit 1. Bar 580 is a huge tavern. They have, I got an idea here. I'm going to throw up a picture of what we got going on. So Bar 580, because I didn't make the poster yet, but I still want to show you guys what we're dealing with. And we have some really good stuff that we're going to have available. Speakers. I got people coming from other Republican groups, other centrist groups. We have liberals coming. We have the band Intercept coming who rock out. And I know they have so many fans around this area, which is going to be awesome. He goes, send me a reminder and a message a couple days so that I can be there. You got to remember, you need to set your calendars now. But I'm going to be advertising and getting everybody in. Let me throw you up some pictures of what we got going on at the bar. Boom and boom. And let me open that up. All right, so this is bar 580 right here where we're going to be rocking out with Intercept for Constitution Day. Here's the bar. It's such a nice bar. Like, it's so nice. It's got like this nice wood like vibe to it. There's a bunch of restaurants in there, pool tables and everything. And then this is the part that I really like. Out here, and I know it's hard to see, but there's like a whole pavilion with chairs and a stage there in the back with a fireplace and everything. And at night they put the fire on. It's like it's so nice out here. And then they got all those lights above it, like bulbs that go over the top. And so this is to be it. And so you're going to get a chance to see me speaking. We're going to have photo opportunities available. You're going to get to meet Americans for Prosperity's reps. You're going to get to meet some Vermont candidates. We're going to have some speakers telling you about how to get involved and what we got to do. This is my specialty. What we need to do to get our community safe again. Much like we're seeing across the nation, there's this public safety crisis happening, and we all need to get proactive with it. Now's the time. The DNC is falling apart. They're losing millions and millions of registered voters over to our side on the right, doing the correct thing. That's why it's called the right. All the leftists are going to start having these screw worms show up in all their open wounds and their heroin addiction, and they're out of their goddamn minds. They're over here shooting up fucking churches and shit, and they're writing these crazy bullshit articles over at the Grist. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Embarrassing. And such hypocrisy. And we've all seen that hypocrisy. And they just, it's like they can't help themselves. And the Digger, I'm ashamed of you for that. Making an article like that, that's just shameful, biased, nasty, like just gross. Like, you're lying and you're trashing out an organization that's coming here to help us get on the right track and make this state affordable again with some opportunities and try to draw in and get some businesses that want to invest in Vermont so that we can have some opportunities, make some money, get a job, pay some taxes, and get our economy sparked again. The only thing we have here is nonprofits trying to pretend that they're going to defund the cops and cure the climate change across the globe and cure addiction. It's not happening. We have no effect on it, and we're going to refuse it every time, and now's the time to strike. And with that being said, because I just ranted forever, and it was hilarious, and I know you all loved it, as I did, it's time for the very best part of the show. We are going to ask you to put up 3 dog emojis for my very, very best, very handsome and beautiful co-host, the absolute finest podcast. I'll throw this up for a second. Dog emojis in the chat. We'll get this boy right here an absolutely delicious snack, the finest snack in all of the land, Milk Bones. This dog loves it. Jeremy Keys, Rachel Morris, Sherry, absolutely. She goes, I like Vermont beer, exciting, 100%. What's next? A heroin store with the excuse that we're saving lives? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Lauren, let's go. We need some more dog emojis up there. Even though we've reached the quota, which I need 3 people to put 3 dog, I expect all of you to put those dog emojis up. This is a tradition for the beautiful Marco, the most exquisite dog in all of Vermont, the fanciest dog around. He's a right-wing Republican voter. Yes, he is. He loves freedom. That's a freedom pup with a freedom bone. Trevor Corey with the dog emojis from X. Let's go over and check the viewership in X. We got a whole bunch. We got 200 people watching in X. I love you guys over there. Elon Musk, you hit this one out of the park with X. Wow, you got Facebook failing. You got freaking Meta falling apart, even though I love them. The Planet Hank Live Show, the absolute finest entertainment around. There they are. Thanks for watching, everybody. I had a good time. That show was absolute gas. See you next week. Peace.